So today we'll take our knowledge of fractions a step further, and instead of just adding fractions, you get a chance to add mixed numbers. But before we do that, it's going to be really helpful if you get some practice converting between mixed numbers and improper fractions. And remember, improper fractions just means, do you remember what that means? A fraction greater than 1. Just another way to say a fraction greater than 1 whole. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice some of these. So first we'll look at it with a visual. If you had 2 and 1/4, if that's your mixed number, I can picture it. I could decompose that into 4/4 plus 4/4 plus 1 more fourth. You with me so far? And then if I counted up just all the fourths, that's actually 9/4. So that's my improper fraction where it's a fraction greater than whole, or another way to know is the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we know it's more than a whole. Okay, I could also picture this on a number line. If I had 2 and 1/4, so this number line is split up into fourths, and 2 wholes is the same as 8/4. Right? You can see that on the number line. Also, we know 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So that's where that 2 comes from. And then 1 more fourth over would put us at 9/4. Okay? You won't always have to draw out these visual models, though. Those were just to help you get comfortable. And as you practice, you're going to be a pro at converting between mixed numbers and improper fractions. So if I have 1 and 1/4, I can think of this 1 whole as 4/4, and then I just need to add on 1 more fourth to give me a total of 5/4. So I wrote out all my steps, but you're going to get to a point where you can even do that in your head, right? If you know 1 whole is 4/4 and then you add 1 more fourth, you might jump right away to 5/4, which is okay. This is one time where it is okay to do the mental math. You don't have to show all your steps, but I recommend as you're getting comfortable to show your steps so that you don't make a careless mistake. So go ahead and pause. I want you to try out numbers 2. Actually, let's do number 2 together, and then I'll have you try number 3, because I just noticed this a little tricky because it's not just a 1 here as our whole number. Now it's a 2. So in terms of fifths, 2 is the same as how many fifths? 2 is 10/5, because 10 divided by 5 equals 2, or another way to think of it is 5 times 2 equals 10. You can use a mult chart if you need. I hope you don't need it for that one, but you'll see what I mean as we do higher ones. We have 10/5 plus 4/5, and that brings us to 14/5 as our improper fraction. Okay, now pause the video, try number 3 on your own, play back when you're ready to see the answer. So I noticed that 14/7 plus 5 more sevenths will bring me up to 19/7. If you agree, give a woohoo. Beautiful. So now we can actually go the other way too, from an improper fraction to a mixed number. So the key to this, I think, is to remember that fraction bars are just another way of saying division, right? So I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 4 go into 9 without going over? Well, 4 times 2 is 8. Oh, good. So that's kind of my highest fact. So I'll know that my whole number is going to be 2 here, but I'm just going to write it like this. 8/4 plus 1 more fourth, which means, again, 8 divided by 4 was 2 and 1/4. And again, if you can skip to here in your head without making a mistake, that's fine. You can do the mental math here. But as you're learning, it's going to be helpful to write out the basic fact that you're using and to write out the decomposition of the fraction just till you feel comfortable so you don't make a careless mistake. Okay, so let's do another one, and then I'll have you do number 3 on your own. So 23 fifths. I'm going to think, how many times could 5 go into 23 without going over? Do you have that in your head? 4 times 5 was 20. So we know our whole number is going to be 4, right? And then you had 3 more fifths. So that means your mixed number is going to be 4 and 3 fifths. Okay, try that. Oops, that looks like an 8, but that's supposed to be a 3. Try this last one on your own. Play back when you're ready to see the answer. So you know that 6 goes into 28 4 times, because 6 times 4 is 24. So you had 24 6 plus 4 more 6 would give you 4 and 4 6. Now to the fun part, the word problems. So let's do this one together. Read, follow along with me to read to understand. And I love making up these word problems. So Riley, today we have Riley working at a deli. Riley worked at the deli. She sliced 1 3/8 pounds of turkey for one customer. When she was done, she sliced another 2 7/8 for another customer. How many pounds of turkey did she slice in all? What's the question here? Let's underline it. How many pounds of turkey did she slice in all? We've understood the question. Just as we were doing in our previous lesson, we have to figure out what the whole is. Do you know what the whole would be for this? If you said pound, you are correct, a pound, because you look, my trick is you look after the fraction was 1 3/8 pounds, so that means the whole is 1 pound. You might say 1 pound, a pound, pound, that would be fine. I wouldn't accept if you wrote pounds with an S though, because there aren't more than one of them. The whole is just 1 pound, but in this case she had a little more than a pound, so that's why that has an S. So be careful with that. Our number model. How many slices of turkey in all? Do you know what the number model would be with unknown? We're going to add these fractions up to figure out our answer. So one strategy is going to be to draw a picture. You know I love the visual model, so let's go ahead and start with that. I could already think though, I know, well, she already did an entire 2 pounds here and 1 pound here. It's definitely, my answer is definitely going to be more than 3. So, and then this is almost pound, this almost pound. I'm just going to draw 5 holes. And again, I'm doing circles. If you did rectangles, that's totally fine too. Can you think what I'm going to split each of these holes up into? So each of these is 1 pound. What would I split them up into? I have to split them into eighths. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, doing my best to keep them equal. Oh, I'm doing way more than eighths. That would explain it. Let me see if I can get the eraser here. There we go. Okay. Let's try this again. So I split in half and then I want 4 pieces on each side to get eighths. There we go, much better. Okay, so go ahead and split in your notes, split all the pieces into eighths pieces. That's an even faster way to do it if you just draw a few lines across. So each one has 8 pieces, right? And first we're considering one, oh, I'll put it here. Let me switch to pink. 1 3/8 a pound. So let's go ahead and shade that in. I'm just going to kind of quickly shade in an entire hole and then 3 more eighths. Okay, that describes this first part. Then we're also shading in 2 holes and 7/8. Let's switch to green. So I'm going to go over here and shade in my 2 entire holes. Sorry, this is this piece. 2 holes and 7/8. And then actually when I do the 7/8, I'm going to continue on this one here that wasn't fully shaded in. So help me count 7 more eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you can see that I had how many holes shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4 entire holes. So 4 holes. And then of our last pound, only 2/8 are shaded. So 4 and 2/8. So I had my plan, I solved, I checked. Did I answer the question? How many pounds of turkey did she slice in all? 4 and 2/8. Ah, I forgot my unit, right? This could be 4 and 2/8 cell phones, 4 and 2/8 water bottles, but we wanted to be 4 and 2/8 pounds. Now we're going to look at two strategies for this problem that are shortcut ways. So keep that in mind that we've now seen the answer is going to be 4 and 2/8 pounds. We're going to do the same problem, but I'm going to teach you two shortcut ways. So I'm not going to read it again since we just did it, but remember the how many pounds did she slice in all? We're thinking of this equation. 1 and 3/8 plus 2 and 7/8. So I love visual models, but I also love shortcuts. So when solving mixed number addition, you could add the wholes and then make a mixed, add the wholes, add the fractions, and then make a mixed number. Let me show you what I mean. So if I had 1 and 3/8 plus 2 and 7/8, I'm going to add the wholes. 1 plus 2 equals 3. And then I'm going to add the fractions. 3/8 plus 7/8, well, those are fractions with the same denominator. We just add the numerator and keep the denominator the same. So our mixed number is 3 and 10/8. But oh, ow, it's hurting my eyes. I can't look at that. Oh my gosh. The reason it hurts my eyes is because a mathematician would never put an improper fraction in a mixed number. Oh gosh, it's disgusting. Let's fix that really quickly. So good thing we practiced converting between improper fractions and mixed numbers, right? You know that 10/8 is 1 whole and 2 more eighths. So now we can be confident, so this was 3 plus 1 and 2/8, or 4 and 2/8 pounds. I don't have room for my units, but I guess I could squeeze in LBF there. 4 and 2/8 pounds. So we got our answer again, but this time we got it a little faster just adding. This is a crucial step though. Don't want to block that. But please do not leave your answer like this. It's terrifying to look at. We need to make sure we do the final step to convert it into a nice mixed number. No improper fractions floating around in your mixed number. It's okay to write that down because it helps us show our work and show how we got to the final answer, but don't leave it there. And a different way is you could make them improper fractions first and then add. So let's go ahead and do that technique. 1 and 3/8. I know that that's the same as what as an improper fraction. Try it on your own. You get 11/8, right? 8/8 plus 3 more eighths. Great. And then I know this other number, 2 and 7/8. That is the same as, can you convert it on your own? See what you get. You do 16 plus 7 more is 23. Yes, 23/8. Good. And so then I'm just adding my improper fractions. 11/8 plus 23/8. So you can see this will end up, you might have some really big numerators that you work with, is going to be 34/8 pounds of turkey. And you actually are allowed to leave your answer as an improper fraction. That would be fine. But we could also convert it now to a mixed number because I know how many times does 8 go into 34? Think about it. It goes in 4 times, right? 8 times 4 is 32. So we know 4 was our whole, and 32 to get up to 34, I need 2 more eighths, and just as we suspected, 4 and 2/8 pounds. Now we've looked at 3 strategies for adding mixed numbers. Find one that feels comfortable for you, and it's okay to use different strategies depending on the problem that you're doing and what's going to work best.